Today I accept that I'll never be satisfied with my life. I always thought that there was something wrong with me because I had never felt fully satisfied with what I had achieved in life. Like there was always something more to do or something more that I could achieve. And I must admit that this feeling made me feel quite empty at times. For example, no matter how much my family told me that I was doing a great job or that I had grown so much, I just couldn't accept where I was at that point because in my mind, I was not the best version that I could be. So I began looking for ways to make my mind or thoughts healthier than what they were, and I came across minimalism. Don't worry, I'm not planning on talking about how it made my life perfect or anything like that. However, it taught me to appreciate what I already have in life and find fulfillment in small things that happen on a daily basis, which has contributed positively to my overall well-being. For a long time, I intensely focused on my future self and made my life decisions based on my long-term goals, but I shifted that focus to living in the moment and learned a lot from it. But the interesting thing was that there was still something missing from me, and I was not satisfied, although my focus shifted from the future to the present. The issue was that as I focused on living in the present, I started not thinking about my future goals or who I wanted to be in the long term, which meant that I started losing motivation to look forward to something in life. As I focused on the present, I started rationalizing some of the life situations that I wasn't fully satisfied with, like, oh well, at least this part of my life is going well, although that part isn't, or at least I'm not feeling as terribly as XYZ. As adults, we learn so much about rationalizing our life situations, and that might suppress our intuitions to dream or think about our long-term goals, because some people think that being completely realistic is what adults must do. It's like telling ourselves that a lot of our goals and dreams never come true. I think it's true that a lot of our goals and dreams do not come true, but there's a huge difference between giving up on them and continuing to get closer to them, even by a little bit, no matter what. I mean, the latter statement is simply harder to pursue than the former one. I'm sure you can think of some people around you instantly who say things like, oh, I wish this was better, but I can't because blah blah blah. Like they always rationalize things as if their situations can never get better and they say but or however all the time. I feel like this is why a lot of Japanese people can cope with staying in the jobs that they hate until they retire at the age of 60 or 65, because I believe it's easier to rationalize their situations rather than diving into something unknown and challenging. I apologize that I went off track a little bit, but what I want to tell you is that living in the moment to appreciate our day-to-day living and thinking about future and long-term goals are equally important and should be balanced. We don't have to give up on one side in order to sustain the other, and I believe we can balance them equally. There's so much advice out there about how we should live life or feel about things, and I have also given some advice on YouTube as well. But at the end of the day, each of us needs to find balance in every aspect of our lives in order to create a life that we can be happy with. It also comes down to how much we care or don't care about what we do for a living, or how much we value our physical items or not, etc. One person's approach cannot be applied to everybody out there, unfortunately. I feel like a lot of people want to find answers to everything so quickly and have been becoming more and more impatient. Then we try things that worked for others, and if they don't, some of us start blaming their methods or feel stressed about the methods not working for us. But as I said, they shouldn't be working for you perfectly because you're not the same person as everybody else. So what I have learned is to be fully responsible for my own life and try to find balance as patiently as possible. Right now, I can say that everything in my life is nicely balanced, and I feel grateful for being able to live like this every day. However, my mind is never satisfied and always reminds me that there's more to be done. This feeling was initially what encouraged me to find balance in life, but unfortunately, I have come to realize that I am yet to be satisfied with my life even though I have found my balance. So I decided to think differently about my mind, and instead of trying to make myself feel satisfied, I decided to use this feeling to always keep searching for things that can be improved in my life. Instead of trying to fulfill what feels to be empty within myself, I accept that I will never be satisfied with my life and use the feeling to move even further until my last breath on this earth. Just thinking about how I am never satisfied with my life differently, I feel that there is no limit in my life, which gives me a lot of hope and excitement.